important thing. This is the last time I've ever talked about this in CNBC, okay? So help me God. Blockchain is real. It's a technology. We use it. It's going to move money. It's going to move data. It's efficient. We've been talking about that for 12 years, too, and it's very small, okay? So I think we've wasted too many words in that. Cryptocurrencies, there are two types. There's a cryptocurrency which might actually do something. Think of a cryptocurrency as an embedded smart contract in it, and that we can use it to buy and sell real estate and move data. That may have value.
The idea of tokenizing things.
Tokenizing things that you do something with. And then there's one which does nothing. I call it the pet rock, the Bitcoin or something like that. And so on the Bitcoin, there's, first of all, and I'm not trying to make a joke here. There are use cases, AML, fraud, anti-money laundering, tax avoidance, sex trafficking. Those are real use cases, and you see it being used for hundreds, maybe $50, $100 billion a year for that. That is the end use case. Everything else is people train among themselves. So
speculate.
Yeah. Now, my last statement, the last time I ever talk about Bitcoin is I defend your right to do Bitcoin. I think, it's okay. I don't want to tell you what to do. So my personal advice would be don't get involved, but I don't want to tell any one of you what to do. It's a free country.
What do you make of BlackRock? What do you make of the other firms, the BlackRocks of the world that obviously, and Larry Fink changed his view of this, obviously. Yeah. And maybe he changed his view because you think he genuinely believes in Bitcoin or believed it because he thinks that there's a marketplace for it and he wants to be part of that market. But what do you think of there's about a dozen big financial companies, Fidelity included.
Number one, I don't care. So just please stop talking about it. And I don't know what he would say about blockchain versus currencies that do something versus Bitcoin that does nothing. It may be not different than me. But, this is what makes a market. People have opinions. This is the last time I'm ever going to state my opinion.
How big a deal is that for BlackRock? And this was for you a big switch as well because you were a naysayer for a very, very long time.
Yeah, I probably switched. For the first 3 years of thinking about it, I was a naysayer, and about 2 years ago, I switched. And I'm actually, as I said in the last 2 years, I'm a big believer. We believe ETFs is the technology that's going to transform every asset class. We believe everything will be done through ETFs. And so we believe this is just the beginning, and we needed to embed ETFs across the entire.
So what does that mean? If you're Rick Reeder, who we've had on the broadcast for years.
Rick is now doing more ETFs in his active space now. There's a great example of how we are taking what a very active investor and putting that into an ETF platform. Let me be clear. I think ETFs are step one in the technological revolution in the financial markets. Step two is going to be the tokenization of every financial asset. And to me, this is where we believe it's going. So we're looking at Bitcoin. We're looking at ETFs in the same manner. These are technological changes that can allow us to move forward, having an Ethereum ETF. As I said, these are just stepping stones towards tokenization. And I really do believe this is where we're going to be going. We have the technology to tokenize today. If you want to think about this. If you had a tokenized security and you have a tokenized identity, you, Andrew, the moment you buy or sell an instrument, it is known. It's on a general ledger that is all created together. You want to talk about issues around money laundering and all that. This eliminates all corruption by having a tokenized system.
On September 12th, Jamie Dimon says Bitcoin is a fraud. He says he'll fire any one of his traders buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin drops 24%. When Jamie Dimon speaks, people listen. So that weekend, we found out that the largest buyer of a Bitcoin fund that's in Europe that buys physical Bitcoin, right? The largest buyer was Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan. And that's not illegal.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, And then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of the huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting more right now with Bloomberg's Sonali Basak. Sonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, please like and subscribe if you do like what you're listening to. Please inform your friends and family and spread it all over social media. It is imperative that we get back to learning finances and understand how the world really works, because once we understand how the world really works, we understand that it is all planned out. Now, I want to thank those who purchased the books Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book. Remember, the New World Order book shows you how the world really works, and it is definitely time for you to wake up out of that sleep, especially in the times that we're in right now. And 2024 is going to be one of our most entertaining years. We have the presidential election. We have the drums are beating. We have the emerging markets going to be flipping the switch on the fourth industrial revolution. Now, we had the Fed signal rate cuts, but remember, guys, they haven't cut rates yet. So like I told you, I definitely see a big pullback in the first quarter. Then the master magician set up a distraction so the Fed can cut rates, and then we move up. And also, guys, I want to thank those who purchased the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, much love to those who donate to the Cash App, Patreon. Much love. Keep it coming. Guys, if you're not a part of the Patreon, make sure you're donating to the channel through the actual Cash App. But guys, this next Bitcoin and crypto bull run is going to be a utility run. So you want to make sure you have the cryptos that have real utility. And much love to those who are shopping at both stores. Keep it coming. And of course, guys, we get into Bitcoin and cryptos first.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And right now, guys, we have Bitcoin, cryptos, and stocks pulling back. And as we can see, yield rates are rising. You know, I'm going to talk about that later. Guys, don't forget to watch the video I did last night. I know I put it out late, but we had Brad Garlinghouse speaking about the IPO and an XRP ETF. And I'm going to talk about that later also. But guys, make sure you're paying attention to the actual indicators. We have yield rates moving on up. And guys, we know they shouldn't have never moved down. It was all because Jerome Powell stated they were going to cut rates. Bond market reacted. And of course, that helped pump stocks and cryptos. Yes, we made money. But never fall for the illusions. And then guys, we have the dollar now moving back up. We know that's not good for the markets. We have volume in crypto slightly up. We have Tether, USDC, and TUSD. And we have Chainlink teams up with Circle to allow cross-chain stablecoin transfers, making it easier to transfer USDC across chains. And we know Chainlink's cross-chain interoperability protocol also teamed up with Swift. And remember, that gives Swift the all-seeing eye. But Chainlink CCIP integrating with Circle's cross-chain transfer protocol helps bring it all together. And it's not by chance you have Ripple's Brad Garlinghouse, Circle's Jeremy, Stellar's Danielle, they all be at Davos. And the reason why is that they are part of the plan, the fourth industrial revolution. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And then, guys, of course, we have the Fed. Repo at $583 billion. Guys, it's coming on down. And we see they're letting the air out a lot of these assets. Of course, guys, we're going to be pumping and dumping, but we're going to be moving our way on down. And like I stated, this is election year. They don't want the economy to get too bad, but 2025 will be here soon. And the back half of this year, we're going to start seeing layoffs pick up again. Yes, the Fed most likely are going to start cutting rates, but small and medium-sized banks and businesses are going to take a beating, of course, along with the employees. Now, guys, don't forget the Fed meets on the 30th and 31st. So depending on how Jerome Powell spends his speech, we know the bond market is going to react. And I don't see him talking about rate cuts again in this meeting. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Now, guys, we had Jamie Dimon speaking about Bitcoin. And remember, guys, they're going to stick to their guns. It's called the Hegelian dialectic. One is going to be for it, one is going to be against it. But Jamie Dimon did admit there's some utility tokens there that's going to change everything that we do. But we know JP Morgan is a participant in the Blackrock spot Bitcoin ETF. So guys, those who do research, those who don't listen to what they say, watch what they do, follow the money, we understand the plan. And Larry Fink explains it perfectly, and that's the reason why it's part of my intro, guys. Everything is going to be tokenized and put on blockchain. ETFs is a way to put all these stocks together. If you're not going to have a lot of growth, you need to have ETFs. And then on top of it, you tokenize it, put it on blockchain. You don't have to worry about the fees. And in the fourth industrial revolution, the new game is going to be the old game. You got to hold these ETFs for a while in order to get profits. That's how it used to be. But because we have so much volatility, all this money printing and ridiculous valuations, that's the reason why profits have been so big. But now you're going to be back to reality. In order to get some profits, you may have to hold on to something 5 and 10, 15 years. And there's definitely going to be a lot of opportunity in the emerging markets because they have the biggest upside. America has the biggest downside. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And then, guys, we get into the spot Bitcoin ETFs, Grayscale, Blackrock, Fidelity. All of them are down today. Now, we have an estimated 1.1 billion fleas GBTC in 3 days. And then we had ARK buys 15.9 million worth of his own spot Bitcoin ETF. So we know that she was selling the Grayscale Trust because, of course, you're not going to fund someone else spot Bitcoin ETF when you have your own. It doesn't make sense. And then, guys, we have ProShares positions for the downturn with 2 long ETFs and 3 short. And, guys, we know they make money whether it goes up or down, and you should too. If you're a part of my stock Patreon premium account, you know how. Now, we have Microsoft partners with Vodafone on generative AI integration. And remember, guys, when it comes to these big corporations, there is no competition. They're all working together in order to move this fourth industrial revolution forward, because all of them are going to benefit. And everywhere you turn in the fourth industrial revolution, you see Bill Gates' Microsoft. And we had Bill Gates speak about the good guys and the bad guys. Yes, guys, I know it sounds like a movie, but remember, your life is an illusion, and TV is your reality. And then lastly, guys, we have Grayscale, Blackrock, and Fidelity dominate spot Bitcoin ETF market with nearly 90% volume and 3 days of trading. And guys, that's the reason why when I started listing the spot Bitcoin ETFs, I only listed those 3. And when the spot Bitcoin ETF news of the approval happened, the mainstream media and social media didn't push it out. Remember, I told you, when it comes to Bitcoin and crypto, the sheep could care less. Right now, they could care less about the stock market. The only attachment they have is through 401k and pension. But majority of people are not investing in individual stocks. And we know why. That's the reason why they don't teach finances in school. Because if they did, the system would never work and the sheep would wake up that it's all rigged. And the same thing goes with this fourth industrial revolution. The sheep are distracted on things that don't matter. And we can clearly see the fourth industrial revolution moving in slowly but surely. Because where I'm at, I have a restaurant, a chain restaurant, now uses AI to take your order. I don't go there because I don't eat the food. But I know a lot of people that do. So AI is definitely making its way. But unfortunately, by the time the sheep wake up, the machines would have taken over the economy. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Because he knows, when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. But that's all I have for you. Don't forget about the books, Crypto Teacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Xrp, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the fourth industrial revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.